to another episode of the Winning Shot Podcast. We're your hosts, Jon and Hundo. We appreciate you taking the time out. We live today, Hundo, on
Nah,
YouTube.
nah, 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 nah.
No problem, no problem, no problem. Well, when you see this message, we're grateful that you tuned in to another episode of the Winning Shot Podcast. We appreciate you taking the time out to listen to us speak, and we hope that what we're getting ready to talk about can help impact your life in some way, shape, or form, or at least give you some more opinion on your team or various other teams here in the NFL. Um, we are going to first talk about we have had a historic ice and snowstorm that has hit the Carolinas and really the majority of the southeast over this past weekend. So Hundo, let's first check in, brother. How you doing? Is it still snowing? Have you cleared everything up, and how's everything going for you, brother?
And everything is good, man. It's not snowing no more. Some of the roads are still icy.
Yeah.
So always urging people to drive safely, be cautious. It's part of my job. But yeah, man, everything's smooth, man. I'm glad it's done and glad everybody's safe. All good on my end. How about you?
Yeah, brother, everything was good, bro. Like honestly, I was telling Lex, my wife, this, bro. I was like, we haven't seen a snow like this in Charlotte at least, bare minimum 12 to 14 years.
Mm.
It's been that long since we've seen a snow like this. That we got like 8 inches of snow here in some areas of Charlotte, and so we haven't seen snow like that in a minute. So I cleared out some of the driveway, like I told you earlier. It is still icy on a lot of roads, so please be careful if you are in the area. Hopefully, people outside of non-essential workers don't have to really be at work right now or have the option to work remote, so that you all can stay safe and in your homes. But yeah, I'm kind of sad to see it go though. 'Cause I kind of like the snow aesthetic. I like the fact that I'm not having to work, at least not in the office. And then I like the fact of man, really just had like that kid like feeling. We was outside when it was snowing the other day, and
Mhm.
like it was just fun. Like just walking around in snow, like while it was coming down, jumping around. Like we
Mhm.
couldn't build a snowman just because it wasn't like firm enough to do so, but
Yeah.
it was still dope to like be in that space. And this is our first snow in our new home, so that was super cool as well. So
Yeah.
all is
I
well
think
though.
I think for me, like I think my time living up north
Yeah,
just
that's
kind of like I guess I wouldn't say ruined, but like
yeah,
it just took away the fun of it. Like living up north, bro, like you still gotta work when it's
yeah,
snowing. Like
yeah.
ain't nothing getting shut down, bro. Like
That's facts.
so like when it snowed, it was like, oh, it was cool, but like it is what it is.
No, I feel that. I
Like you
feel that.
said, glad to be working from home or off. So
Amen.
hey, I'll
Amen.
take
That's a
it.
fact. I'm telling you, I'll take it. All right, man. So let's get straight into it. We wanted to talk about coaching moves that have happened in the NFL. We are now originally had 10 spots that were open for head coaches in the NFL. They've now all been filled. So now that coaching carousel has come to a close, Hundo, let me ask you this. I know we put out an article on the Winning Shot Pod. It kind of talked about our grades and what we thought about the picks. But kind of going off of that, give me, I guess, your top three hires of this cycle and, why they were so.
Yeah. Start off with the Bills. Like I told y'all before, I like that internal hire of getting Joe Brady. Keeping that continuity with Josh Allen at the top is going to be very important, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Like I told y'all before too, like they still got some holes on this roster on both sides of the ball that they got to fill. But I like that hire. Staying in house and going with Joe Brady. Um, Another one that I liked. Uh, hmm. I would probably say the Giants with John Harbaugh,
Okay.
just because the potential is there.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because I think he's gonna, come in and just be a culture changer. Like I still think that's a tough division to
Mhm.
compete in, but I like the pieces that they do have with Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterboo, Malik Neighbors. When they're all healthy, that's a good start on the offensive side of the ball. And then defensively, they still got some holes to fill on that side, but that D line is ferocious,
Yeah.
right? So if you can build out that secondary, get some offensive alignment and a couple more weapons on the offensive side, they possibly can do something and compete. And then the thirdly, um, I would say the Raiders, just because they have the top overall pick, they're going to address the quarterback situation. But I think if they can add to their offensive line
Yeah.
And their defense, they have the second most cap space in the NFL. So you can go get some veterans to go along with these young players that they have on rookie contracts
Yeah.
and try to make something shake. They're, like I said, similar to the Giants. They're in a tough division, but
Yeah.
they can easily turn it around because coming into this season, we thought, if they get an upgrade at quarterback with Geno Smith, they can compete. Nobody expecting them to win 3 games this year. Like, I mean, I thought they was at least gonna win, 7, 8 games at least.
I don't know about that many.
Bringing in Geno Smith and having a new quarterback.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Like I said, they still got some holes they got to fix, but they do have a lot of flexibility with cap space.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm not mad at those. I'm not mad at those answers. The Raiders one definitely surprised me because he was not on my. I like Clint Kubiak as a coach, but the Raiders as an org, So they
Hey, they
weren't
got,
my top three list for
they
sure.
got Brady over there now, man. He about to shake some things up, man.
Yeah.
Brady's a winner. He's not
Right.
going to be selling for all this losing that they got going on.
I hear it. I hear it, but a lot of changes got to be made around there, Hunter. A lot of changes. Um, so yeah, I'm like I said, I'm not mad at that list. I think my top three a little bit different. So obviously number one, the Ravens. Shout out to Coach Mentor, man. I said this, coming into the pod, but Jesse wasn't when the coaching carousel was going around. He wasn't my first thought, but he was always in the back of my mind because I knew he came from Baltimore, right? Then he went back to Michigan, came back to follow not John, Jim, to LA to be the DC out in the Chargers. Turn the defense around. And they went from really bad to honestly pretty good. They were one of the top defenses in the league last year. So to see him what he did to that defense, man, it got me excited because the one thing that Baltimore has been known for throughout the majority of my life is defense, and we had lost that identity over the past 3 years since Mike McDonald went to Seattle. Um, and so now having a coach like Jesse Minter, who also once again they all kind of know each other, they're all in that same kind of tree. Bringing him to Baltimore, I was like, okay, cool, I'm rocking with this. And then he says he's going to call the defense as well. We got pieces all over the defense that are great. You know what I'm saying? And so I think having him bring that defensive pedigree that he had in LA to Baltimore, it's going to be lethal for us. And one of the things that can really propel us has really hurt us in the past couple of years. But now I think we'll be able to really get back to what we've been known for in the defensive side of the ball. One thing I thought was very interesting with the hire was, of course, he had to hire new OCs and DCs, and the new OC that he hired was Declan Doyle, right? Who was the play? He wasn't the play caller. He was just the OC in Chicago last season, right? He's 29, so he comes from the Sean McVay tree, which I love Sean McVay's offense as well, out in LA. So I'm excited to see what he does coming from what he did last year, working under Ben Johnson out in Chicago, what he can do now with a two-time MVP and an offense that can skyrocket under his leadership. So that was what I really was kind of waiting on. I wasn't when we got Jesse, I knew he could be a great pick, but I think that the OC Declan is really what's going to make or break us. So I'm excited to see what he can implement this year, working with Lamar, and I think it'll definitely maybe take some time. But prayerfully, we can get things rolling quickly because we got a window. We talked about this window, so we got to get things moving. But I think he's, my personal opinion, probably the best hire and best fit over this coaching carousel. Of course, I think John was a good fit in New York, but he didn't make my top three list. I think for me, number two was Robert Saleh, actually in Tennessee. I thought he was a great pickup in Tennessee. He was one of the guys I looked at once again for head coach in Baltimore when I was looking at it as a fan, right? But I think Tennessee got a great hire. Robert has proven to be a crazy defensive mind. And Tennessee's defense is in Tennessee as a whole is in a division where it's honestly up for grabs each and every year. And so I think that he can come in there. They have a lot of cap, like you mentioned with the Raiders. Has the opportunity to spend some money. He brought in Dable, if I'm not mistaken, as the OC, which I thought was a great decision. Coming with the young quarterback Cam Ward, now year two for him. They grab him some more weapons. They handle business. I think they can make some noise out there in the AFC South. Honestly, bro. I mean, Houston's still Houston, but they have to also show they can get back to what they need to do. That defense obviously is elite, right? But Robert Saleh is an elite defensive mind as well. So I think that he can help Tennessee's defense get to where they need to be too. Help draft pieces, bring in some pieces, spend that money, and get what they need to get, and they can compete in that division. I think pretty early on under his tenure. So I thought that was a great hire for them out there in Tennessee. Another one that I really was high on. Um, I thought, like I said, I think John did a great job out, and he's going to do a good job out in New York, just because, like you mentioned, that defensive front was out there. But I think that another one that stood out to me, honestly, I was looking at. It's going to be controversial, very controversial. But who got the job in? I'm missing a name top of my head. I put it in the thing too.
I
Hmm.
got you. The Titans had Robert Saleh, Raiders Clint Kubiak, Giants John Harbaugh,
Hmm.
Falcons Kevin Stefanski,
Hmm.
Dolphins Jeff Halfley, Cardinals Mike LaFleur, Bills Joe Brady, Ravens Jesse Minter, Browns Todd Monken, Steelers Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's gonna be a mixture of the Bills. Now I'm gonna say the only the Bills because I like the in-person hire. I thought Joe Brady was a good offensive mind. They still have a lot of work to need to do defensively, but I think offensively that helps them as a smooth transition as you already have your former MVP and kind of working with that continuity. Then I'm also mix in there. Dang, nah, I'm just leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna stick. I'm gonna stick with the Bills. I'm gonna
Hey,
stick with the Bills there.
going back to what you was talking about earlier though, a couple of things. So one, with the Ravens, right?
Hmm.
How do you feel about Doyle only being 29 and Lamar being 29? How do you think that dynamic's going to work? One, and then secondly, um, dog, what was my second question about the Ravens when you was talking about it? Um, I'm blanking, but answer that one, and I'll
Yeah,
think about what I
for
was going
sure.
to ask you.
So for me, I don't think it's gonna be an issue. I think people are kind of making it to be a big thing. Like, oh, he's only 29. Both been coaching before this. Like he's had, jobs before this. He's had experience under Ben Johnson. He's come from the McVay tree. He's coached before at other teams, right? So he's been a coach for I think almost 10 years, which is crazy at almost at 29. So I'm not worried about the age. Just make the right calls, make the right plays. Like this is your opportunity now to show what you can do. I don't think that Lamar's gonna have any issue with it as long as the plays are being called correctly. Um, I think that's the biggest thing. Like Coach Mentor mentioned in his initial interview in press conference, he talked about just relationship building. That's what it's about. So I think the age piece goes out of it once I hear what your ideas are. If they're what I think are up to standard for what I think an OC should be doing, if I'm Lamar, I'm not tripping off your age. I'm not even gonna think about that. That's not gonna come into it at all. I think we've associated age with experience and all that stuff like that. But I think one thing this coaching carousel has shown you is that there's a lot of young hires as well. And so,
Too many old ones too for me, but
huh?
said too many old ones too for me, but
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think the Raiders had brought in Pete Carroll, like, and that didn't work. And he had how many years of experience? Like, your
yeah,
age don't necessarily mean a good or a bad thing, right? So it's about the work you put in. It's about the situation that you're in. So I think the situation definitely matters because you can either help your legacy or tarnish it, as we just seen with Pete, or as we've seen with players like Russ going to like 3, 4 different teams. Like you, you have the opportunity each and every year to get into the right system, get into the right scheme, or and in the OC's predicament, make the right scheme. You calling the plays, you're literally making the offense now. So anything that you've seen that you was like, oh, I would have ran this differently, I would have drew this up differently. This is your opportunity to do that now and show that at 29, at maybe 32, 33, you can be a head coach because of the things that you gained over your years of experience, plus your resume from what you will do in Baltimore.
that's what my other question was, right? So we talked about him coming from the Bears, but Ben Johnson was calling the plays.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on offensive coordinators taking jobs where they aren't able necessarily to call plays? We saw it with the Broncos, with Sean Payton mainly calling the plays. We see that across the NFL with several different teams. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it, Hundo. I think the best person should call plays. That's really what it boils down to. Whoever can put the team in the best position to win that game in that particular moment, it happens, right? And I think at the end of the day, the head coach is going to be able to override anything anyway. So, I mean, if you're in a situation where you're not calling the plays, at least, like we mentioned in the chat, I mean, you sitting there, either you're learning or two, you're sitting there saying, hey, I think we can drop this little thing differently just to at least have a voice, right?
Yeah.
I think it like once again also goes organizationally as well because some organizations you may not have a voice versus some organizations you may have a decent say so throughout the week and just on Sundays you just kind of you're just chilling, watching your hopefully work that you implemented throughout the week go in.
Right.
So it really just depends. I don't have an issue with it personally. I want the best person to call to play. When Jesse said he was going to be the DC and the head coach, I said great, like because I seen what you did. So like I'm glad that you're the head coach, but I don't need a DC if you can call the plays. I know you're gonna call good plays. I'm not tripping off that. So let the DC come in, get a check, learn from you. You know what I'm saying? Help you build some schemes up. I think at the end of the day, it's probably just gonna be more of an idea bouncing thing, right?
Mm,
Versus now, Declan has had the opportunity to sit, and so now it's on you to make those kind of plays. So now it's like you're getting a big boy job almost, right?
mm.
So yeah,
The training wheels are off.
yeah, training was all. This is it. Like it plays go bad, it's on you. It's not
Yeah,
like, oh well. I mean, in the week we talked about it, but I didn't call it. Nah, this you called this.
right.
So yeah.
Yeah. I like the Robert Sala hiring too. I
Mhm.
think that division, like you said, is I wouldn't say wide open, but like it's up for grabs.
Oh, for sure.
Anybody could really win it.
Yeah,
Had the Colts stayed healthy, they probably would have won that division this year.
for sure. I
Um,
agree.
but I think from a coaching standpoint too, like in that division, like you said, you got D'Amico with the Texans. Their defense is elite. You
Yeah.
got Robert Sala, who just joined the Titans, great defensive mind. Shane Steichen with the Colts, and then you got Liam Cohen with the Jags. So you got some great coaches in that
Yeah.
division,
Yeah.
and coaches got beef. Robert Sala and Liam Cohen, they got beef. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting twice a year,
Mhm.
seeing those two teams go at it and seeing those two coaches go at it.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
we gonna see, man.
Speaking of beef, Baker got beef with Kevin Stefanski out in Atlanta. They was talking crazy over the net. So that's gonna be another interesting, division to watch this year, and
Yeah,
how can Kevin, you know, take what he I didn't. I was reading about him being coach of the year a couple years back. He won coach of the year like twice when he was
yeah,
with the
two
Browns.
times.
So him going to Atlanta, where I think once again also has an established defense. Now the question for them always we talked about this in the pod. Are we gonna do a quarterback? That's the question. You know what I'm saying? Is Michael gonna be healthy enough to lead us this year?
Yeah,
And because in my personal opinion, I'm not relying on Kirk Cousins anymore.
and
That's
I
just me.
saw that I saw a report last week that said that they were looking at cutting releasing Kirk Cousins anyway. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I think his time is up. At least in Atlanta. Like I don't see him leading Atlanta to do anything. That's just not. I don't think Atlanta fits his speed and what he needs at quarterback. He definitely would have fit more in like what Jetta said. Probably maybe more of a Minnesota type thing, or like a
mhm,
Sam Darnold kind of going back to Minnesota. But like I don't know if Atlanta is the place for a Kirk Cousins type quarterback. Not just for the culture of the city, but like just for the team and the way it's currently set up. There's a lot of young guys, a lot of moving parts, and Kirk's more of a definitely more of he is a pocket passer. So I think they need more of a mobile guy who can also pocket pass. So they're gonna need some a young guy that's mobile. I think to handle the rock out there for them. So I don't know what's gonna happen this year. Like I said, I don't know if Michael's gonna be healthy enough to lead them where they need to go, but this is Kevin's, job on the line. So this
yeah,
kind of starts that window for them, and I think the NFC South is another division that's open, right?
yeah,
And as we see this same thing with the AFC South, I think yeah, the Carolina Panthers won last year, but Atlanta, if Kevin comes in, puts in his schemes the right way, and does what he needs to do, he can easily help to win that division this year.
yeah.
So I think this is his opportunity to lock in and kind of build the team the way he wants to build them throughout this draft and free agency, and kind of go from there.
How long do you think he will get, and really any of these coaches will get in these new opportunities to try to either turn things around or get over the hump?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that all the coaches really signed 5-year deals. I think that the more established teams like the Baltimores, you look at Buffalo, I'm looking at those win now teams. You're more so probably going to have three, three to 3 to 4 years max to kind of get the job done, or they're gonna start looking elsewhere again. Because I don't think you're gonna get to another situation for Baltimore. Where we're gonna be waiting 18 years with nothing.
Mhm.
Our owner even mentioned the presser before we hired Jesse. They asked him, how long would you give this coach to get Super Bowl, and he ran down the list. Said, well, um, we hired John. He won a Super Bowl in 5 years. We hired Brian Billick. He won a Super Bowl in I think three. And so he said, yeah, he said, I mean, at least give him for maybe 5 years if we, are in a winning position. But he said no longer than that. Like, so I'd say the majority of these teams, at least on the higher end, they'll get that kind of time. But you look at somebody like the Raiders, you look at somebody like Atlanta, you look at somebody like probably Arizona. I think they're gonna have less time, which is interesting because the teams
Yeah,
are worse.
right.
But those teams are also ones who seem to be always on in the coaching carousel. So I think the worst team's gonna have less time. It's crazy, but it's the truth.
Yeah, that's interesting because like I think you also have to factor in like what other teams have done recently. Like
Yeah,
you look at somebody like the Bears, right? They
yeah,
were they were sorry. They bring in Ben Johnson. He turned it around literally in a year.
yeah.
Now, granted, they had some money to go make some moves in free agency, but I mean, if you're the Cardinals or the Raiders, you look at that and you say, okay, I'm gonna hire somebody who can do something like that.
No, that's a
And if
fact.
they don't do it, now you're looking like, okay, all right, you gotta go. We gotta look in a different direction, right?
Yes.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how much time a lot of these coaches get. And I think with free agency in the cap space, like you said, like the Titans, the Raiders, like they lead in cap space. They got the highest cap space going into next season.
Yeah.
So they're probably looking to. I'm not gonna say make the playoffs, but like compete and win some games in that division, in
Yep.
those respective divisions. So we gonna see, man. Hopefully they can get 3 or 4 years to try to do something, to try to build something in their respective places. But firing a coach after a year, man, unless something is like going on in the locker room or something like that, like that's bogus to me.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I think you have to once again you have to look at kind of the standards that's being set, right? I was thinking just about when you talked about that D'Amico Ryans out in Houston. They were sorry before you got there. They went and got C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson. They were in playoffs that first year. So I mean, in in the defense of these teams who are firing these coaches, it's like we're seeing it being done.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we're gonna give you the opportunity. Like you gotta make the most of it. And if you're not, and we feel like we are an organization that can win, especially in divisions, so maybe not the Cardinals because in that division you're not set to win in the
right.
next 3 to 5 years the way the division's set up right now.
Hmm.
But in a place like shoot, maybe not even the Raiders. The Raiders are really set to win in the next three
Yeah,
five
yeah,
years the
yeah.
way the division is set up.
Mhm.
Based on the teams that are in the division. So I mean, I could see it, but I think they also want to compete in the division as well. So I think
Mhm.
it comes if you're competing in the division, I think you have more of a chance to stay. But if you're just being sorry overall, both in the conference and the division, you're out of there. So
I
yeah,
think you also got to show some type of level of improvement too.
yeah,
Like you
yeah,
can't just,
that's
like you
true.
said, like even if you don't win the division, like okay, we won 7 games. Next year we
Mhm.
might win, 9 or 10 games.
That's true.
We're just taking those little baby steps to where, okay, maybe one day, we can compete for the division.
Right.
You know, try to get in the playoffs or whatever the case may be. Because I mean, as we've seen, 3 teams making the playoffs out of division can happen,
Yeah,
right? So you don't necessarily have to win a division, but if you can compete and win 10, 11 games, you can sneak in the playoffs.
that's true.
So
That's true.
we'll see, man. Who do you think is going to be the most successful new coach? I know we gave our top 3.
Yeah,
I guess when you look at success, I think playoffs, possibly Super Bowl, depending on the team.
yeah,
If you're Buffalo or the Ravens,
yeah.
but who do you think is going to be the most successful new coach out
For
of these
me,
that got hired?
for me is I know it's gonna sound biased, but it's either Jesse Minter or Robert Sala for me. And I say that because both of them are in divisions where they should be able to win, right? And if you win the division, you go to the playoffs. Um, and unfortunately, Baltimore's success is still measured in the playoffs. It's almost Jesse's almost at an unfair advantage. I mean disadvantage because they're not gonna look at his regular season. They're gonna make sure as long as you win the division, get to the playoffs, that's when they're gonna start measuring his success. So, and that's just because of the Ravens and who they have on the roster. So he's not gonna get measured like Robert, where it's like, okay, you have a young team, da 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 da, so we can give you some opportunity, and that's the kind of measure your success. I think their successes will be measured differently based upon their rosters currently. Now, if Tennessee goes out and spends crazy bread and they had this stacked roster on paper, that's gonna look differently for them. But as it currently stands, I think the most successful coaches are either going to be between Robert Saleh because I think he has that Vrabel kind of turnaround in him for Tennessee. And I'm not saying that they go from number one in the AFC, but in that division once again, I think it's winnable for them if they make the right adjustments and the right pieces, and he continues to call the right plays offensively with Dable and him defensively. to make that thing successful. And then Jesse, I think, is still once again just because of the position that he's been put in, the AFC North is ours to lose. Honestly, I don't trust McCarthy out in Pittsburgh. I don't trust Zach Taylor out in Cincinnati, and I love Todd, but Todd's gonna be doing a lot more losing in Cleveland as well. So I mean, that's just the honest to God truth in my personal opinion. So I think that he's set up with this roster with Lamar Jackson at quarterback. He starts there. You go out from there. You got to be successful in my personal opinion. So
Yeah, yeah. I'll probably just add in, uh, like you said, Stefanski in Atlanta, just because that division is winnable.
yeah,
Um, I mean, I'm still not sold on the Panthers if you asking me. Um, and like you said, they got the pieces on the offensive end. You got Bijan, you got Drake London, got Cal Pitts. Um, you just got to figure out that quarterback. That's a big question mark, but
yes,
if they can figure it out, they can make some noise. I mean, they were right there. I think they won what 7 games this past season.
yeah.
So I
They could
mean,
make playoffs.
yeah,
One
like
win, it was in the playoffs for the Panthers. So
literally.
yeah,
So I mean, if that's the goal, if that's success, or what success looks like for them,
yeah,
um, he can definitely do that. And then, as I mentioned, Joe Brady with the Bills, like I said, they still got some question marks at receiver and on the back end in the secondary. But if they're able to address that, they're right there with the Patriots in that division. Like
yeah.
I don't think the Patriots are just going to start running away with that division moving forward. I think that they have an opportunity to try to win that division.
Yeah, for me, I think they have to make the right defensive adjustments in regards
Hmm.
to personnel. Because if not, I think the Patriots can run away with this division. I don't think. I mean, they're a young team. I don't think they're going to get any worse. I mean, they're in the Super Bowl after what 2 years with Mike Vrabel. So I think they come back and compete again this upcoming year. Even once they lose the Super Bowl next week, I think they come back and sorry, my bad. That's my prediction, y'all. That's my Super Bowl prediction. I'm probably gonna get to that a little bit later on. But yeah, I think even with that though, they have Drake May. He's in year two, be year three next year. I mean, they're gonna compete again next year, and they're not scared of Buffalo, either going into Buffalo and definitely not being at home. Buffalo is the one that's now on the ropes and needs to kind of make adjustments to kind of compete with them. In my personal opinion.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. I think that's gonna be an interesting division years moving forward. As long as Josh Allen is there with the Bills, they're
Mhm.
gonna have an opportunity. And whenever he decides to leave, or if they can't get over the hump, and you got to go, it might be a different conversation. But as of right
Yes.
now, like those are literally the only two teams in that division. I mean, I don't trust the Jets
No.
and the Dolphins. I
Yeah.
don't know what they got going on.
Yeah. I gave their coach hire a terrible grade. I said, boy, how you gonna set this man up for failure? He might be honestly in the same position as the Raiders head coach Clint Kubiak right now. In regards to the fact of, bro, you got two at quarterback, you got no receivers besides Waddle. The offense about to be garbage. Defense, you done traded everybody away. I mean, the only person you got left is now Bradley Chubb. I think he'll be a free agent, if not this year, then definitely next year. So I mean, it's about to be dark days in Miami. Like they're gonna be at South Beach every day because what we playing for?
I'm with you on the Miami piece, but I just feel like the Raiders have an opportunity to turn things around. I'm not gonna say they can win the division, but like, bro, they got the cap space. They
Yeah,
got Brock Bowers. They got Trey Tucker was a good addition at receiver. You
yeah.
got Genty at running back. You about to draft the number one overall quarterback. Like the potential is there for the Raiders
So
if
you
they
say they're in
go
a better
out and
position than
sign,
Miami?
huh?
You say they're in a better position than Miami?
Yeah,
I
I
agree
think
with
so.
you. I agree with you actually.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Like I wouldn't put him in the same category as Clint Kubiak. I
And
think
that's what's
Kubiak
sad.
is in a better situation than Buddy in Miami.
That's what's sad though, because when Mike got there a couple years ago, people were saying Miami was Super Bowl ready with that roster that they had, and now we're talking about them being worse than the Raiders, who had the one pick this year. Is crazy, but it's the truth. It's the truth. You set yourself up to be in cap purgatory. you saying you brought in Ramsey, you had Tyreek Hill, you went and drafted Tua and Waddle, and you brought in Chubb, and they had Christian Wilkins at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like they had all these guys, and pretty much none of them are there. It's a skeleton crew now, and it's only going to get worse. Like they definitely losing Tyreek, probably getting rid of Tua. Waddle be there for maybe another year, two max. Chubb, like I said, be another year. Once those guys are gone, they in rebuild mode in Miami.
Yeah,
So,
completely too. So
so yeah, yeah, it's tough, tough. A shout out to buddy. Is his name Jeff Haley? I think his name is. Something
yeah, Jeff Halfley,
like
Halfley,
that. Haley,
Halfley.
Godspeed, but Godspeed, brother, because
Good, good
you got
luck.
you got some work ahead of you. Now it's crazy though because Miami could be a winning franchise. It could be, but what we talk about all the time on this podcast? Who is your quarterback?
Yeah,
That is literally gonna make or break y'all. Going back to the Raiders in the AFC Championship, like that plays your defense can be the elitist of the elite, and the Denver Broncos defense was elite. But if your quarterback can't get the job done consistently, it ain't gonna matter. It ain't gonna matter.
yeah.
So yeah, man.
Last part, man. We gonna talk about these coaches and these rookies, man. So
Okay.
we talk about the Raiders a little bit. They got the number one overall pick.
Yeah.
Everybody is expecting them to take Fernando Mendoza at
Yeah.
quarterback. Probably gonna be a good pick. No brainer in all honesty. But
Yeah.
let's look at some of these other teams in addition to the Raiders. Um, how do you think Mendoza is gonna fare in Vegas?
I was worried before they hired Clint Kubiak. I was super worried because I believe a lot of his success in Indiana came from his coach. Right? I think he put them. He had a great system set up for him. He knew who he had,
Mhm.
and Mendoza able to execute perfectly. But I think he needed that in the NFL too. He couldn't just have anybody. If he
Right.
still had Pete Carroll, oh boy, his career might have been over before it started. But I believe now with Clint Kubiak coming in, who is a offensive wizard, I think it helps Mendoza a lot. I think Mendoza can be put in a very good position. Now I don't think he's going to be elite quarterback, but I think he'll be able to be solid and get the job done. He reminds me of like a Bo Nix kind of in the sense of like put him in the right system, he'll get the job done. I think he's super smart in regards to him studying the playbook, knowing his personnel, knowing what he needs to do, and he can make the right things happen. So I think that with Clint Kubiak's direction and their relationship, I think they'll be able to get some things done in Vegas with the help of, like you mentioned, Trey Tucker. He already got Brock Bowers and he has Genty. So, and obviously, going to bring in more pieces as well. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they got a lot of bread in cap. They
Right.
got the draft, of course, outside of him. So they'll be able to bring him in some pieces to help him offensively and then defensively, of course, be able to kind of help him as well. They still got Mr. Crosby out there as well. So I think he'll be in a good position. So I like that. I like the Mendoza with Clint Kubiak pairing.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. I was watching an interview with Mendoza the other day, and he was talking about, I'm not the most athletic or the fastest dude, but like I prepare.
Yeah,
He's big on preparation. So I think that's gonna be a good thing for him in the NFL. Like you said, got Bowers, got Genty. Definitely got to address the offensive line because
hmm
man, Geno Smith was sacked 55 times this past season.
yeah,
So definitely get him some protection. But
yeah,
like as we saw with the Bears, like they went out and addressed offensive line. That was one of the first things they addressed this past offseason.
yeah,
And Caleb Williams went from what being sacked 50 plus times
yeah,
last year in his rookie season to what only 24, 25
yeah.
this year. So literally cut it in half. So I think if they're able to address that offensive line, Genty's running that ball, I think that's going to be a good draft pick for them.
I agree. And another thing, real quick before we move off the Raiders, Brady's there. I mean, you talked about that preparation. Brady's gonna love that. And if you think Brady's not gonna take some time to sit down with the young man and go over film and help him prepare and get ready so they can win games, you got nothing coming. Because like you mentioned earlier, Brady's a winner. So he's gonna take that time out not only as he's not a coach, but he's who's gonna tell him no to helping the quarterback be great in that organization if they smart. Come on now. So another reason I like that pairing as well. And like you said, I think that line definitely has to be addressed, most certainly. So after you draft Mendoza, your next pick and free agency money need to go to OL to protect the young man that you're going to draft so that he can put him in the best position. You can't be blaming him and calling him a bust when he's getting sacked 65 times. That's not going to cut it. So
Yeah.
yeah, you definitely have to address that in the free agency and the draft. So put your best foot forward. I think if you're Vegas, because I think you're in a division where you know you can honestly compete if you have the right pieces. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you can win the division, but you can compete. And when I say compete, I mean you could probably go 3-3 in the division, honestly. And that's for me
Hey,
competing for them.
and I will say, bro, like when we played them, I think both of the games were one score games.
That's what I'm saying.
We lost like 5 one-score games
Yeah,
last
yeah,
year.
no,
I mean, five, but I mean, they only won 3 games. So I mean, sure, if you can win a few of them games,
that's what I'm
that
saying.
changes things.
You flip a couple things, you can win 7, 8 games.
Yeah,
Like I said, I'm not in no way, shape, or form. Hear me now, Pod. I'm not saying the Raiders are world beaters. I'm not saying they're division winners. I'm not saying they're Super Bowl contenders. What I am saying to you is that with the right things in pieces in place, you presumably drafted Mendoza, got Clint, help your OL. Mad Max gonna be Mad Max. Go get him some secondary help out there. Them boys can win 7 games.
yeah, yeah.
I think that's a that'd be
Fact,
a good first season, solid for them. Me
fact,
personally,
facts. Nah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I would hate to see that being in a division,
yeah,
but
yeah, for
like,
sure,
it's
for sure.
true. Like
Yeah.
they definitely can turn it around. They're definitely in a good spot, money wise,
Mm-hmm.
to try to turn things around. And got the Cardinals drafting 3 overall. What you think they're gonna do there? I
Ooh,
feel like they got a lot of question marks
they
across
need
the.
to they need to blow it up. They need to blow it up, bro. Arizona is so irrelevant. It is insane. Like I honestly had be forgetting about them a lot of times. Like I know college there, but he's on the way out. Um, I don't know outside of Marvin Harrison Jr. Don't really and Trey McBride. I don't know anybody else in that offense. To be honest with you, I think Paris Johnson may be there on the line, but not too familiar with the players that they have on that team. I know James Conner was there. I think he got injured, so he may be coming from injury this year. So that may be beneficial for them. But once again, you're gonna need a quarterback because Kyler's more likely to be out of there.
Yeah,
So you're going to start there. If you don't have no quarterback, dark days. It's gonna be hot and taking a lot of L's in Arizona. The defense needs a lot of help. I mean, I can name Will Johnson as the corner, but outside of that, can't really name anybody to you in Arizona on the defensive side of the ball either. So this free agency period, which will start next month in March, and the draft, which will begin in April, is going to show me a lot about what these teams want to do because you're in a division in the NFC West who's going to have the Super Bowl, the reigning Super Bowl champions in it, in the Seahawks. You also have a team who just lost in the NFC Championship, the Rams. And you also have a team who was injury riddled but went to the second round of the playoffs in the 49ers. So you, as Arizona, are at the literal bottom of this division. So with no quarterback, you stay at the bottom. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So like you might have to it might be time to blow it up and start some over to try to catch up to the rest of these teams. Because outside of that, you're not gonna catch up because none of them are falling off. McVay's not going nowhere, Shanahan's not going nowhere, and Mike's not going nowhere. And they're only gonna get better.
mhm,
So your option right now is to kind of blow it up. You're not in a position to say, oh, we're a few pieces away because you're not. It's time for you to kind of make some decisions. You may need to say, who's the second best quarterback in this draft? Because we may need to go get him at 3. And maybe Mr. Moore would have been there for you if he hadn't, left. But now
right.
that he's going to college, your options are very limited.
Yeah,
So you either go spend some money in free agency to go get, I don't even know who. I don't even know who's coming out at quarterback at free agency that can
yeah,
help you out. I don't know. I don't like I said. I think you really kind of you got to blow it up because you don't have a quarterback, and if Kyler's gone, you're cooked. So yeah, it's gonna be some dark days, at least a dark season or two, if they can't figure that out this offseason. So
yeah, yeah. I think they gotta. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, bro.
that's what I'm saying.
Because because like you said, like if Kyler isn't there, you gotta address quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Like unless you just gonna settle for being sorry yet again
Yep.
and hope that you can get one of the top quarterbacks next year, which I
Yep.
mean wouldn't be a bad idea, but
No.
also with the new coach, you got to understand, and he has to understand. You got to give him that grace
Yeah.
to say, okay, we gonna be sorry next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not gonna go out and do nothing crazy this off season. We gonna prepare for next year,
Yeah.
right? Because like you said, free agency quarterbacks. I mean, at best, you got what Daniel Jones, maybe at best.
At best.
He's
Yeah.
coming off an injury,
Right.
one, and there's no telling if he might resign with the Colts.
That's true. I think he will.
So if he's off the board, who's next?
Unless you're making a crazy trade.
Yeah, and you probably not getting a player for a player for
Yep.
Kyler.
Yep.
So that's dead.
Yep.
There, yeah, it's a lot of holes
Yeah.
on that team that they got to address. But I think at three, maybe they go O line or D line. I think you got to start in the trenches. If you can't get a skill position player, they already drafted high with Marvin Harrison at 4. He's been up and down.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to get a quarterback that's good enough to be at pick 3.
That three. Yeah.
So I feel like you got to go trenches.
They can go linebacker.
Yeah, that too. I
But
mean,
yeah,
that'll help.
the options like I said, the options are few and far in between for them. And then, like I said, just the coach, whoever it is not gonna put them in a win now situation. And that's what you're looking to get when you have a top 3 pick is somebody who can help you win now. Unfortunately for them, even if they were to draft, I don't even know. Let's just throw out Ruben Bain Jr. Right? He's a great defensive mind, great defensive guy, but he is not helping them win any extra games this year. I'm gonna be honest with you. With no quarterback, he's just gonna be a dominant force on the D line with nobody to, win on the offense side of the ball. So
But I also think that's a good start though. Like
yeah,
if you look at it from big picture of 3 years down the road, we might be able to do something, right? This is not going to be an overnight fix for them. It's just too many question marks across this roster to where okay, they're going to be sorry again next year.
yeah,
That
that's a
that's
fact.
just what it is.
That's a
So
fact.
like as long as their leadership and their management understands that we're going to be sorry next year, cool. But if they thinking that we gonna turn this around and be competitive, you're delusional.
I agree. I think some orgs we talked about this before. Some orgs need to just go into the season saying, "Hey, it's nothing wrong with tanking, y'all. It's nothing wrong with tanking because, like I said, with no quarterback, you're in a terrible position. Terrible. So you have to do something. I mean, is I'm trying to think like who could they? I'm really trying to like rack my brain like who in the world could they get in Arizona to play quarterback for them right now? And I can't think of nobody. Like not a soul. If y'all
I
get rid of
mean,
Kyler,
do you go get Kirk Cousins?
heck no. To do what? Lose again?
I mean, bro, yes, you're gonna lose, but like you're not gonna lose, 14 games with Kirk Cousins.
Shoot. With that O line, he can't move. He's like 40 something. Him and Aaron Rodgers is close to the same age.
Hey, bro, I,
He's like
I'm a
he had it
believer in
before he's
Kirk
like late
Cousins.
30s though for
I'm
sure.
not, I'm not gonna say that he gonna come out there and win. He might win 6 games with them.
Shoot. That's
I
heck.
think, I think, I think Kirk Cousins can win 6 games with them. I
Heck.
think definitely they got to go out and do some more, add some pieces around it.
Heck no.
But I think he can win 6 games with them.
They losing 6 off rip with the division. They not who in that division they beating her though? Exactly.
The 49ers, maybe.
You better hope they injure it as injured as they
Hey,
were this year.
the 49ers, maybe. I don't know if they beating the Rams or the Seahawks. I ain't gonna hold you.
Exactly.
They might be able to split
Exactly.
with the 49ers, though.
Okay, so you had 5 L's already. Let's give them one against the 49ers. You had 5 L's. You had 1-5 already. I don't think they got another 5 wins in them to get to 6. I don't even see that happening. It's no fear in nobody's heart of Arizona, bro. None. None.
Hey, the crazy thing is, bro, I had hope for them boys coming into this past season, bro.
Really.
I actually thought they could do something, bro.
Shoot.
Them boys was sorry.
Sorry, bro. Sorry.
Goodness.
So, yeah, I think it's time for something new. They started with a new coach, but he's one of those guys. I hope he was in this interview saying, "Hey, y'all see what I see. I'm gonna need more than a year or two to fix this." I hope he was one of those guys. I don't even know the coach's name, but I hope, young man, that you were in that interview saying, "Listen, I would love to be a head coach here because I would love an opportunity, but it's going to take me some time realistically.
They got LaFleur. They got Mike
Oh
LaFleur.
yeah, Mike. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. They got
Yeah.
Mike LaFleur as their coach.
Um. Yeah, Mike. I hope you're gonna interview saying, listen, I know y'all see my brother out in Green Bay, but this ain't that, and I need y'all to give me some time. If y'all want that, y'all have to give me some time out here, cause it ain't happening right now unless I get a quarterback to start off with. First of all, so yeah, that pairing is gonna be very interesting. They got some work to do out in Arizona.
Yeah. And then at 4, got the Titans. Robert Sala
Yeah.
and the Titans. What you think they're gonna do there?
Boy, I think they go defense with their first pick, either linebacker or defensive, or they go get Bain, which I would hate because I want them to cut fall to 14 to Baltimore. But if I'm the Tennessee Titans, I got Justin Simmons, just
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Jeffrey Simmons out there on that D line, still ferocious. Get him an edge rusher that's crazy. Spend some money in free agency. Boy, Robert Solid have a field with that defense.
Yeah.
We still got Snead out there. He's solid at corner. Um, they got Ridley out there, if I'm not mistaken, still
Yeah.
at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you get your couple pieces, bro. You solid. You solid. I think that he can. Robert's going to have a great draft. Him and Dable, I think, will have a great draft and be able to compete immediately in that division. I'm gonna say it again. It's an early prediction for 2026 season, but I think with the right draft, hear me well when I say this, winning shot.
Mm-hmm.
With the right draft, I don't want nobody to misquote me, misclip me, none of that. So I'm gonna say it loud and clear for those who are in the back listening. The Tennessee Titans can compete if the following things happen. One, of course, they need to draft well. They have to draft well. And I think they will be defensive heavy in this draft because of Robert's defensive mindset. Now, Brian's going to say, hey, don't leave me with nothing. So they'll get a couple guys, either in free agency or prayerfully in the back end of the draft, that can be supplemental pieces to them, right? You can go get you a solid, I say day 2, day 3 back that can come in for them and be probably a good starter, or at least a solid, very solid backup in the next year, right? I think you can get you another receiver to help out really, or a tight end. I think that tight end class is also pretty decent as well. So, and then of course you got the offensive line. You got J.C. Latham and them boys already out there. So continuing to build on that to protect Cam Ward because you already got that guy. So I think that with those things in place, and only if those things are in place, hear me well. Then they can be successful.
Yeah, and I think they will go defense only because they do have some young weapons on the outside at receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I think they drafted 2 wide receivers in last year's draft or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm looking at their names right now. Elick.
Was it Elick from Stanford?
Yep. And then DK. I think they got both of them in that same 2025 draft, and they were like later round picks, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
They got DK in the 5th round and Elick in the 4th round.
Mm-hmm.
So, some mid-round draft picks that turned out to be productive this past season for them. So I mean, shoot, I definitely think they're gonna go defense unless they go, offensive line to protect Cam. But I think it's leaning towards defense the way it's looking right now.
Yeah. Agreed.
Let's see who's next. Get back over the draft.
You good. Take your time, brother. How you looking for that? I want to talk to the Steelers and I'll talk to the Browns. Let's start off with Pittsburgh. I mean, I brought in Mike McCarthy, and his number one goal, as of right now, he said was to try to get Aaron Rodgers back. I'm gonna tell you right now, Aaron Rodgers is about to be 44 years old. Y'all, as an organization, hear me well. I'm an avid Steeler hater, but I want to see y'all help the division not be sorry. Please don't put all your eggs in Aaron Rodgers' basket. Mike McCarthy, don't put your job on the line for Aaron. I know you work with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Know the relationship there. I understand that. That's part of the reason they brought you into Pittsburgh. But hear me well, Pittsburgh fans, organization, and team. Do not put your entire legacy right now and tarnish it on the back of Aaron Rodgers. He's not the only problem on this team. There's more issues afoot in Pittsburgh. He's 44. He's going to at max give you 1 year. And let's just say y'all have another decent season, 9-8. I don't see y'all getting to the playoffs again because we're not going to be sorry again 2 years in a row. So you go 9-8. You get middle of the round, middle of the pack draft pick next year. You're gonna need a quarterback. Hear me, hear me. We've been saying it the whole pod. It starts with that quarterback. Your window will close immensely fast with no quarterback.
Yeah.
The defense is there. Got you. You got some pieces. You drafted Harmon. Cam Hayward's about to be out the door. You got him to replace him, right? That's why you got Harmon. You got PQ maybe another year. You got Joey Porter. He be looking to get paid soon. You're gonna need some secondary help soon. So I mean, like, I just think personally, and this is coming from a Ravens fan who is an avid Steelers disliker. I'm not gonna say hate. It's leaning towards the org though, right? I want to see y'all help the AFC North stay where it needs to be as one of the toughest divisions in football. Right now, the moniker's leaving us. The moniker's leaving us out there, and y'all can help change that narrative. But y'all got to start early. And in Cleveland, oh boy, we Todd once again. I appreciate everything you did in Baltimore, man. It was great to have you there. Y'all helped Lamar win the second MVP. Should have been a third. I'm not gonna get into that again. But you're in Cleveland now, buddy. You're an op. So I'm gonna tell you this: the defense. Once again, you got Miles, you got Denzel Ward, you got Grant Delpit, you got JOK. I mean, you got Mason Graham drafted at 5 last year. You got some guys. That defense super solid, super solid. Offensively though, hey, let's talk. Who's the quarterback? Y'all gonna trust Shador? Y'all still got D-Watt under contract. Y'all got Dylan Gabriel there. I mean, what y'all gonna do there? That's gonna help once again determine y'all future. The choice can be right or it can be super wrong. So, let's figure it out, guys. Let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. That's all I got.
Yeah. So at 5 we got the Giants. Your boy Harbaugh,
Yeah.
fifth overall pick. Got some young pieces on the offensive side already.
Okay.
Like we said, D line is pretty stacked.
Yeah.
Where do you think they go with pick 5?
You get Jackson Dart some more help. I think you can either get you some. They need some O line help for one. So you can get you a crazy offensive lineman. The best one in the draft, which I think is the guy from Miami, the tackle. So you get you a tackle to protect. If you think believing in Jackson Dart to be the guy, which sounds like they are out in New York, get you somebody to protect him, so he doesn't fight for his life. He already has proven to be a concussion prone young man early on in his career. So I think it's best to keep him upright. Best way to do that, draft some OL help. OL help for him. Like you said, defensive line is stacked. If you decide to not get the tackle, or some offensive line help, I think your next best option would be to say, okay, let's help us address the secondary. Maybe we'll get Caleb Downs out of Ohio State to play safety out there. Get some defensive help out there. So I think that could be another viable option out there in New York. But I think you have to address one of those two. One of those two. D-line's already ferocious. You know they're going to get after it. That secondary needs some help to kind of lock some guys down. So either I'm going to get the top rated safety, defensive guy, or I'm going to get that old line help. One of the two, me personally.
Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward for them. As far as skill positions, they're pretty stacked. I mean, unless you want to go get another wide receiver, but I don't think you do that at 5.
Five,
With,
yeah.
with the wide receivers in this class, you probably can wait a little bit and go get another wide receiver in the second, third round, maybe. Um, but I'm with you. If Caleb Downs is there, I love that pick for them. Versatile defender, can play multiple positions. Um, or you go offensive line, like you said, and protect Jackson Dart. Um, so I think it's pretty straightforward for them.
Yeah,
Either go offensive tackle, offensive line, or you go Caleb Downs.
yeah, agreed.
And you got 6, the team you was just talking about, the Browns. Todd Monken.
Ty, what do you do with your first pick, brother? I believe they will select somebody to pair well with a hey Meta, stop. I believe that they will go and grab some weapons for Mr. Dart. I think that I'm sorry, not Mr. You said the Browns. Lord, I'm still thinking Raiders. I mean the Giants.
Mhm.
Please forgive me. They may go get another weapon to help Shador. I think they finally turned the keys over to Shador. He has Jerry Judy. He has Ninjoku. He has Quinson Judkins out there running back. Get him another weapon or help him out with someone on the O line. They already have a good O line, I think, as well. The defensive line is already stacked. Secondary is already really there. So either they do this. Either they say we're going to let JOK go and go grab a linebacker, who they also got Swearinger, who had a crazy
Rookie.
rookie year. Would
Yeah.
you get somebody else to pair with him? Or do I say, okay, I'm giving Shador the keys, so I'm going to either grab him another weapon, and I don't know who the top rated weapon would be at 6. It's kind of high for them to get, a receiver or something like that. Like you just mentioned at 5. So I go get him maybe another tackle to assist him in staying upright as well. Because sometimes he was running for his life also. So I'm going to either do one of those things. Either get another linebacker to pair with Schlesinger, and that defense to keep them. They might turn to elite with another guy. I can hold you. They can be crazy to stop. Or um, I go say, all right, Shador, I'm giving you the keys. Here's another O lineman to help you stay upright. One of the two. Because I don't know. There's no weapons you're going to get a wide receiver that early. You already got your running back. You would need Jeremiah Love, and you just need some help to protect Shador. So I'm going to say OL for them too, to start Todd's tenure off there.
Yeah, I was low key thinking Jeremiah Love, but like you said, they do have Judkins, but he did just have an injury too. So maybe you draft another running back. I don't know what their running back room necessarily looks like, but if you believe in Jeremiah Love to be that 1A type, I mean, Munkin likes to run the ball.
He
So I
does.
mean, true, you got a double backfield that's going crazy like that, and that could be scary with a young quarterback.
Yeah.
But like you said, offensive line is the offensive line gonna hold up?
Yep.
Or do you take if Caleb Downs is there? Do you take him in the secondary?
Mm. They got Denzel. They got Delpit. They got what's my on the other side name? It's blanking. He pretty decent too. Um, I forgot his name. So maybe you could go get Caleb. I mean, Caleb once again makes that defense insane. I'm not gonna lie. Them boys become almost a no-fly zone with Denzel, Delpit, and Downs out there. That's tough. And you got Miles Garrett being
Get
Miles
that for the
Garrett.
quarterback.
I mean, that poor quarterback. You gotta make the right decision and make it quick, or you'll be on the ground,
Quick.
or you gonna throw a pick. One of the two. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's if he's there and they will get him. Ooh wee! I am not mad at him staying in the state of Ohio. I mean, in my personal prediction, I think he does stay in the state of Ohio. It's either going to be Cincinnati or Cleveland that goes to get him, Caleb Downs. That's my personal prediction as we look into this draft upcoming here in the next couple months.
Yep. And then at 11, got the Dolphins right after the Bengals at 10. Got the Dolphins at 11.
Best player available, whoever it is, help, help, help. So
Yeah.
it don't matter I don't even know whoever the best player available is. That's where it needs to go. I
Yeah.
wouldn't spend the money on OL because you don't know who your quarterback's going to be. So I wouldn't spend it on OL. I'd look at 11. I guess you can start looking at running back. So Love is there. I mean, I'm not mad at him going to Miami, but you have no quarterbacks. I mean, that's why another reason you need a running back. But I also maybe look at linebacker. You need some help in the defensive side of the ball too. So maybe look at a linebacker or another edge rusher to help with Bradley Chubb. So I'm gonna say they stay on the defensive side of the ball. My personal prediction: they go either linebacker or edge. The first pick.
Yeah. I feel like they got a lot of holes to address.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if they go offense, especially if Tyreek Hill not gonna be there. You gotta have another wide receiver to go with Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
And whoever the quarterback's going to be, at least he got some weapons out there with
Yeah.
Waddle. And if you decide to go wide receiver and get somebody at 11,
Yeah.
um, but I think they're going to go offense. I think we're starting to shift to an offensive league. I think they go offense right there. But like you said, like you don't know who the quarterback's going to be,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's really the only real concern if you do get a go offense and get a receiver, a tight end,
Mm-hmm.
or even running back. But we gonna see, man. A lot of question marks over there. And
Yeah.
like we said, it could get ugly over there.
Yeah. Definitely could.
We at 14, got the
Yeah.
Ravens.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you think
Baltimore,
y'all
man.
gonna do, man?
Yeah. So I got three guys I'm looking at personally for my like top pick for 14. My first dream scenario is that Ruben Bain Jr. falls down to 14 and he comes to Baltimore and he helps that pass rush, which we need a lot of help pass rush. So he comes to Baltimore. Boy, oh boy, the league is in trouble. I'm gonna say that right now.
You're not dropping that
Um,
far.
hey, they told me Cal Hamilton wasn't dropping that far neither back in 2022. That's all I'm saying. With 14, we have a good history with picking number 14. Draft dating back to Cal Hamilton a couple years ago. Anyways, um, if he's not there, then we look at either helping Lamar on the offensive line, or we look at strengthening the defensive line with Peter Woods out of Clemson. I like both of those guys. I've also seen some mocks that have had us taking Malachi Lemon, the wide receiver out of USC. Personally, I still need to do some more tape watching on him. He's projected to be the best receiver in this draft at this current time. Of course, pro days and combine will help determine that further. Um, but I'm not mad at getting a receiver if it's the right guy. It has to be the right guy. Malachi's under 6 foot. We already got an under 6 foot wide receiver in Zay Flowers, who's a dog. And Malachi's looks his tape, he looks decent, but I don't know how far I can trust it right now. So I'll say for me, I think we either go get Peter Woods because we also don't know the status of Nande Metabike and what his injury is. If he decides to come back and tells us before the draft, then we don't go D line. We go O line for sure and help Lamar. Names I like the guard from Penn State, top guard in the draft. I like the tackle from Bama, Mr. Proctor. I like him. I like his game. I think he's a versatile offensive lineman. Um, yeah, man, we just need some help in that O line and on that D line for sure. So I'm taking one of those guys. That's what I'm going 14.
Yeah, I think 14 a little too high to get a receiver. I don't know. That's just me personally.
Yeah.
Um, I think with this class, I think you can wait a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
go get a receiver in the second or third round.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think y'all go offensive line. I know y'all went defense last year with what Mike Green, right?
No,
That was
he
our first round pick.
no he Malachi started was the first round pick last year out of Georgia.
Well, still defense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, and y'all went safety last year,
yeah.
but I think y'all go O line this year. Um, I feel like you can never have enough offensive linemen.
That's a fact.
Um, and I know you're not a fan of what the right guard that y'all had,
Okay, not a fan of him at all.
Fayolale. How you say his name?
Daniel Palele, nah, not a fan of his. So
Yeah.
definitely help at guard. But I'm also not a fan of Voorhees at left guard. So I mean,
Mm,
both guard positions need to get replaced immediately. But I think one of them is going to get replaced by Emory Jones, who we drafted last year out of the sixth round out of LSU. No, third round. Excuse me, third round at LSU. He's a dog.
okay.
So I believe he'll start the left guard this year. So I believe we go get somebody for right guard this year if we do draft the offensive lineman um, in that with that first pick. So that would be my personal request.
Okay. Okay. Next team we got the Jet. No, Jet still got the same coach. He about to be gone though.
Hey, yo,
A little foreshadowing.
talking like that downfall is crazy. That's diabolical.
we got the
Black History
we got
Month at that.
uh
Yeah, during Black History Month at that.
I retract my statement. You know what? For
Oh,
Black
now
History
you want to try
Month,
this statement.
we gonna revisit this in March though.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
We got the Steelers at 21, man. What you think Mike McCarthy gonna do at 21, man? You kind of talked about it earlier. They got a whole bunch of
Man, a
holes
lot of
they
shit
got
to
to
do.
fill. I don't know if they're gonna get a quarterback at 21. Would he be in
Nah,
that late of a pick?
nah.
Even then, I don't know if any of these other quarterbacks are going to change the trajectory of their team and be these, game changers. So,
Let me tell you
where
what
do you
they need
think
to
they
do.
going?
Let me tell you what they need to do. Let me tell you what they're gonna do. What they need to do. We saw this last year. DK was out for 2 weeks. They suffered immensely. They need to get a receiver with their first round pick. But they're gonna go draft defense because it's Pittsburgh. I can almost 87.9% guarantee they'll probably draft defense with that first round pick because it's what they do. It's what they do in Pittsburgh. It's just I can't say last time I've seen an offensive first round pick in Pittsburgh. I'm trying to think in the first round.
Mm,
I mean, they drafted Kenny Pickett and they got rid of him immediately. So I just really believe in my heart they're going to go defense. Truly.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me if they go defense, especially like they get like a corner or somebody to help in the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm with you, man. I think they need to go get somebody on the offensive side, preferably at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Um, that can play alongside DK, that can get open, catch the ball. Probably a bigger body type wide receiver. Um, but yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they go, cornerback or safety either.
Mm-hmm.
So we gonna see. Um, but like we said, quarterback. Who's gonna be the quarterback? I don't think they draft a quarterback here, but I mean, if they can get somebody in free agency, or if they really, bent on getting Aaron Rodgers back,
Mm-mm-mm.
I don't think that's the best decision, but
Either.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, but I think they should go wide receiver or DB or safety.
Yeah.
Do
Breaking news.
you
The Ravens are expected to hire defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver as their new DC in Baltimore. Now, Anthony Weaver was another young man who was in Baltimore, and then he went to Miami to be their DC. And now he's coming back home to be the DC again out in Baltimore. He was actually a DC candidate whenever Mike left to go to Seattle, and he wound up leaving and going to Miami to go be DC before we offered him. So it'd be very interesting to see him come back as DC. Once again, he's not going to be calling plays because Jesse's going to call the plays. So what his role will actually be, we'll see. But happy to have him back in Baltimore. Welcome back to Baltimore, Mr. Weaver.
okay? Okay, we gonna see what happened, man.
Yeah,
I think y'all definitely got some pieces over there on the defensive side that he can work with,
yeah,
and bouncing ideas off of Mentor.
yeah.
Those two being in the same room together, probably gonna be able to make something shake over there.
I agree.
At 24, we got the Browns again. Look like they got another first round pick. What do you think they do with that?
With the first pick, I think we had him going O line to help Shador.
Yeah.
Or let's stay offensive side of the ball and go get him a weapon now. Let's stay offense. Let's go get a weapon. Let's try our receiver. What was going to be the best receiver available at that time? I'd take them there and take a chance on them.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Yo, go get another help on the outside.
Yeah,
But I think it also comes back to, do we trust Shador to be our quarterback? I think that's going to determine, I guess, direction that they go in this draft for
yeah.
both of those picks, really. Um, so we'll see. It wouldn't surprise me if they go, offense on one of those picks or defense one of those picks, and
Mm-hmm.
on the other side of the ball just to kind of balance it out.
Yeah,
But like you said, they're solid on the back end. Got a young linebacker and got Miles Garrett. So I mean, the holes on the defense is not as blatant and not as clear as the offensive side of the ball.
yeah.
So
That's okay.
they definitely could go double offensive picks, those first round picks. And I think that's the last. Oh, the Bills. Bills
Bill
at 26.
26. They're definitely also going to go offense. I think Joe Brady has to get some help for Josh. Probably passing the ball. So let's say wide receiver, pass catcher. But you also got to start addressing that defense too at some point. So let's say BPA for them, best player available. Doesn't really matter. I'd probably start off defense for them, honestly, because I feel like the defensive guys are going to go fast this year. So I'm going to say defense, first round pick for them. I know they just drafted Harris, I think, with their first round pick last year. But
Mhm.
let's go get them another corner um, or safety, depending on
Yeah.
who's available.
Yeah, I can see corner or safety. I think this wide receiver class, like I said earlier, you could probably wait
Yeah,
till second, third, fourth round and go get a decent receiver that can contribute and help.
yeah,
I don't think with them picking at 26, they're going to get the top wide receiver anyways.
yeah,
So might
yeah.
as well wait, use that for a later draft pick, or go get somebody in free agency to address the wide receiver room.
That's true. I'm with you.
So yeah, that's all for the first round. You want to go into the second round or what?
Nah. We'll wait for it. We'll wait for it.
But, yeah, that's all we got, brother.
Say no more. Say no more. Listen, we get ready to get into more authentic take in sports as we go into this month and in the coming months with this now time starting for the pre-draft process, the pro days, combine, all that stuff. We will be talking about draft heavy, I'm sure. For the NFL, a lot of teams need a lot of things to get better, man, especially these contenders. And so please stay tuned. We'll be back later on today to talk about some NBA news and just sports talk as well with that with Colin. Me and Hundo also got to get back here and discuss college women's sports as we are entering into this final month of the regular season and we get into this tournament time. Conference tournaments and NCAA tournaments will be starting towards the end of this month. So we'll be back to kind of talk about that. We got some big matchups here in the coming weeks for college women's basketball, and we also got to discuss this W stuff, man. This has been a very, very slow moving thing, so a lot has to happen there as well. So we'll be back, man. It's a lot of conversations that we have to have here in the coming months about women's sports, more specifically basketball. And so me and Hunter would definitely be having these conversations. I got to do some more research and some more tapping in, but I'm locked in. Like I said, I got a big slate of games to watch on Thursday. I'm super excited about that. So listen, if you're in the Carolinas or on someone on the East Coast watching right now, please stay safe. I know snow is still prevalent in a lot of these areas. Roads are still slick. Watch out for black ice. Watch out for those things. If you can avoid not being out, I do so. Just to be safe on the safe side, man. I know it's still going to be cold. It's still freezing in a lot of places, which means that the ice and snow is not going to go anywhere. So if you have to be out, totally understand that. Just be safe. If not, man, stay warm, stay safe, and stay blessed. And we pray to see you at the next appointed time here at the Winning Shot Podcast. We appreciate y'all and we love y'all. Peace.
Peace.